Developer's log, stardate 65685.5. I'm Mitu Kandekar. I'm the captain and commanding officer of game development starship, the Tiniest Shark. I'm also the chief engineering officer, the chief design officer. I'm pretty much the only crew member aboard this ship. This series of Developer's Logs is here to tell you about my continuing mission to seek out new life and new simulations, to explore a strange new world, the development of Redshirt. Redshirt is a life sim game set aboard a future space station in which everybody is obsessed with the station's onboard social network called Facebook. So you, as the player, are a new arrival tasked with the station's most glamorous of jobs, like cleaning up the mess after transporter room accidents or greasing the station's automated doors. But if you work hard, or if you navigate the social politics of Facebook, you might be able to get your boss to stop hating you and eventually work your way up the career ladder. So Redshirt is a single-player Mac and PC game about social simulation and generally about what it might be like to manage all of your interpersonal relationships and everything that's important in your life through the medium of a social network. So it's kind of a sort of loving dig at both social media, but also at sci-fi classics, as it's about using tropes and such from classic science fiction. So that's a general description of the game. I've been working on it solo since roughly July of last year. That's 2011 in Earth years. And it's being published by the awesome Positech Games. So I'm doing all the aspects of the game except for the art. So that means I'm doing all the design, all the programming. It's being built in the awesome Unity, and also Klifsky has been really brilliant in helping out with all my design woes and with providing feedback. And because I haven't been doing any of the art myself, it's kind of been looking pretty ugly so far. So unfortunately, in this first installment of the Developer's Log, I can't actually show you any of the game in action yet. But as we speak right now, Clockwork Cuckoo, who are the artists who did the logo that you saw, that you probably saw when the game was announced, they're actually working on the user interface design right now. So I'm sort of making it look all pretty and stuff. So far that is looking really, really good, and I can say that because I didn't do any work on it. So I'm going to start doing this Q&A section on the Developer's Log videos. So if you have any burning questions about the game itself or the process of developing it, then please do get in touch via one of the following subspace communication channels. So we received an incoming subspace communication via our Facebook fan page at facebook.com/redshirtgame. So Facebook user Chris Penny says, "You had some awesome company at GDC. Did you have a good time?" Yes, I did. I was at Game Developers Conference in San Francisco, which is always a really excellent time. This year I gave a little 5-minute micro talk during the Games for Change session entitled Designing Games for Love. I gave a shout out to Redshirt because even though it's not necessarily about romantic relationships, it kind of can be if you want it to be. I mean, you can use the station's Facebook feature to flirt with someone that you're pursuing by posting status updates about them or sending them messages or posting on their wall. Or maybe you can flirt with someone when you're already in a relationship with someone else and see how that plays out, or vice versa. So basically it's kind of like a sandbox for relationships, of platonic or romantic, so it kind of ties in. But yes, GDC is always a good time, especially if you're a solo indie developer like me, always sort of stuck talking to no one, marooned in deep space. Question 2. The Redshirt concept is a unique spin on the usual champion style game. How long have you had this idea? So that part of the idea actually came from Klifsky. So some of you might be familiar with his Kudos games, Kudos and Kudos 2. which were also life sims, but in a sort of regular everyday setting. So I'd originally actually pitched the idea of the game to Cliff as just a social networking simulation game, without sort of any theme or anything. And he told me about the idea he had for sort of doing another Kudos-esque game, but set sort of in space with like a whole sci-fi skin going on, because he's a massive Trek fan, and I was like, so am I. And so he suggested sort of maybe merging the concepts together, taking my idea and setting it in space. And I was like, oh my god, I love space. So that's how it started. What do you want players to feel is the redeeming feature that makes Redshirt shine more than any other games on the scene? I think the social simulation stuff is pretty cool, just from a sort of nerdy point of view. There aren't many games which are sort of doing things like that, especially sort of setting it on a social network. So essentially it's a sandbox for the player. Prom Week, I think, is a good recent example of a game which is a sort of like a social simulation game. But yeah, in a nerdy way, one of the things that I'm most excited about the game is the social simulation stuff. The other thing that shines about the game, again in a sort of nerdy way, but a different nerdy way, is the whole sort of subverting sci-fi tropes humour angle, which has been done in things like sort of Galaxy Quest, the movie, but I haven't seen it in any sort of games for a long while, really. So thank you for your questions, Chris Penny. Like I said, keep your subspace communications coming in, and I'd be happy to answer any questions about the game and its development, or anything about this whole crazy endeavour. Right, so this first instalment of the developer's log has been a load of rambling, so sorry about that. Tune in next time though, and we'll try to have more of a look at the game itself and how it's going, because hopefully it will be looking a little bit prettier by then. And keep an eye on the blog and like the Facebook fan page if you haven't already, in a very meta kind of way. But that's it for now. Tune in next time.